Yes, 2011 past paper questions. Now here we have included all the past papers from 2011 onwards. Then we have questions from page 14. Right. So hope that you have done them. Then I need your answers parallelly with this. First question: who invented the analytical engine? How the Charles Babbage? No issue. It's a simple question. Now this is a level where the questions are appearing in your paper, right? That's what I'm discussing this question paper. Then which of the following technology is used in second generation 2G? What is it? 1G is vacuum tubes, 2G is transistors. Answer is the fourth. Then third one, answer sheet of a multiple choice question paper can be read with. So MCQ papers are read with OCR, OMR, MICR. Which one? OMR. One I think case name. Digitizer, first answer. What is that? We know that. Digitizer, what is that equipment? I told it, right? Didn't I? Digitize is a certain equipment, input device, something similar to the light pen. What is light pen? A pen-like equipment where we can write on the screen. Then this is still a digitize is a pen-like object where we can continue our writing on the screen or on a plastic pad. Right? So then is that supporting this marking of MCQ papers? No, that's a pointing device. Right? So digitize, if you don't know that idea, just take it similar to light pen, a pointing device, right? The pointing device. The second one is light pen. That's never. Third one, MICR. Where do you find MICR? Magnetic ink character recognition. Where do we? In bank, MICR is magnetic ink character recognition. Now this is a technology something like this. Now this is a technology which is applied into bank checks. Are when it comes to a bank check, you have seen that at the check, somewhere like in the left bottom corner, there are some block shaped numbers printed. Haven't you noticed it? These numbers are printed using a special ink that is magnetic ink. It has a magnetic ink. Ink having magnets. Then when you write things on that ink, and once the ink is dried, what is the feature of these characters? Is this acting as a magnet then onwards? Make a magnetic ink එකකනේ ලීවේ. ink tinta වේලුණාට පස්සේ make a magnet එකක්. Then is this magnet a very powerful magnet to attract metal particles or tiny magnet? Tiny magnet, not a big one. But we know that if this is a magnet, around the magnet, is there magnetic fields around it? O-level science. Bar magnet, doesn't it have magnetic fields? That's why they attract metal particles. So this is also having some magnetic fields, but is that more powerful or less powerful? Less powerful. Even whenever we go for the next character like 5, printed here, doesn't it have some other magnetic field created around that? What about the magnetic field pattern from this character and this character? Same pattern or different pattern? O-level science. U magnet as well as bar magnet. What about the magnetic field around them? Same or different? Different patterns, right? Likewise, this is going to be one magnet. This is going to be one another magnet. Their shape is different. If so, what about the magnetic fields? They are still different. Sorry. Then each character available here produces their own magnetic field. That means number 2 is available. That's the same magnetic field for all the number 2s. Number 3, whenever number 3 is there, all are having the same magnetic field. But 3 and 5, the magnetic fields are different. Right? Then what happens is, this check is put into a machine called as MICR reader. MICR. Then we insert the bank check. Then inside the machine, what it does here is observing the magnetic field patterns closely. Whenever you put that check in, the gadget is reading the magnetic field patterns from the sheet. Can't they find patterns corresponding to number 3, number 5, and number 2, and whatever the based on numbers? Then those patterns will reflect the corresponding numbers to be read. You understand that? Other nice story is the shape of the characters are same in all the checks. If you take the check from Sampath Bank, People's Bank, whatever the bank, same number pattern, number size is there. Then these machines are programmed. If the shape of the field is like this, that is number 3, this is number 5, likewise. Now I think you are clear. Then what is read by the MICR? MICR is reading magnetic characters printed on bank checks. But liya the notebook time MICR. We'll just take it small, right? MICR, magnetic ink character recognition. Right? MICR. A technology to read, patterns from bank checks, where the letters are printed, using magnetic ink. Next point. Since the same shape, size, of the magnetic characters available, the reading is 100% accurate. Then we'll go back to the question. Answer sheet of a multiple choice question paper can be read with. Can that be read by MICR? No. That's used to read magnetic characters. Scanner. Then other one is POS terminal. What is POS? Point of sale. EPOS, we said it at. Barcode readers. In the sales counter. Then that is called as POS. Now here E letter is missing there. Not a printing mistake. Even POS is also called as, EPOS is also called as POS. That's the sales counter system. Is that using reading this MCQ? No. Then what is the answer? Scanner. Why? Whenever we go for the reading of MCQs, first the answer sheet has to be scanned. Then makes that as a soft copy. Then that soft copy is subjected to the software to identify their position. So there can be MICR machines available. There can be OMR machines completely, or else we can do that separately. Then answer has to be the scanner. Why? First scanning has to be done, then only identifying the character is going on. Right. 42 quickly. Which of the above statements are correct? Ubuntu is an open source operating system. Yes. Then a Windows XP is a proprietary operating system. Yes. Windows XP is licensed proprietary. Linux is a proprietary operating system. No, Linux is free and open source. Only A and B. Then 29. Consider the following properties. We know this well. Which of the above being used as main properties of classify the types of memories? Density. We did about memory density, right? Which one is highly dense? DRAM, the SRAM. Memory density is higher. SRAM, the DRAM. DRAM. If so, DRAMs are large in size or small in size? Physical size. Small. Sorry. Then memory density will categorize the memories. That's true. Capacity, yes, large capacity, small capacity. Security, we don't care about it. Cost, yes, expensive, cheap. Access time, yes. What is the answer then? Other than C, all the others are A, B, D, E. Fifth one, right? Then I will do mark the others on the next day. Okay, question number 30. That's from page 15. Consider the following memory types. Which of the above can be considered as volatile memories? We know what volatile is. What is volatile? Whenever the memory is switched off, data will get erased. Right. Then read-only memory? No. It's read-only memory is permanent memory, right? Not volatile. Then secondary storage? Still not. Then cache memory? Yes. Then flash memory? What are flash memories? A memory which is based on microchips. Mainly flash is focusing on the secondary or primary category. Flash goes to secondary, right? Pen drives, memory cards likewise. So they are not volatile. In that side, they are still non-volatile. Then random access memory, yes. Then C and D are the answers. Going to be the third. Right. That's the 2011 MCQs. Then we'll go to the 2011 writing questions. Right. Then question number 1. It says state the main technologies used in first 4 generations of computers. Now this question is to say that state is just to mention the technologies used in first 4 generations of computers. Then regarding first generation, what is the technology used? We know that vacuum tubes. You have to list that all. Vacuum tubes. Then 2G, transistors. Then 3G, integrated circuits, or else ICs, integrated circuits. Then 4G, microprocessors. So they want only up to the first 4 generations, microprocessors. Right. Then part B, draw a diagram depict the fetch execute cycle used in program execution. They ask direct theories, right? Fetch execute cycle is also called as fetch decode cycle. What is it? There are 3 steps available. One is fetch the instruction. What is next? Decode the instruction or theory වල හැමම තියෙනවා. After that, execute the instruction. And then going back to the fetch of the next instruction. Okay, then the second one, encircle the most suitable entry in the second and third columns corresponding to the properties listed in first column of the following table with respect to FAT32 and NTFS. I think we did this FAT and NTFS. What are those FAT and NTFS? Where do you find them? They are mainly focusing on to the secondary storage, especially hard disk. They are the file formats, file types. Then out of these two, which one is the latest technology? At the NTFS. NTFS is the latest technology, new technology file system, which has more features than the FAT environment. The first feature is maximum file size. FAT now, the old version, FAT is old. This is the new, the latest version. Then a maximum file size is FAT now limited. Its old version has limited amount. This is going to be unlimited. So you have to circle the specific selection. Second one, maximum file name length. Name given to the file. Still in fact limited. This is unlimited. Then third one, security. FAT now no. This is yes. Then fourth one, support of Unicode. This is not, whereas this is yes. So then most Later switches are then NTFS, whereas not in FAT. By the following software is either system software or application software. Then a Linux system or application, it's system. Then a word processor. What are word processors? Example is Microsoft Word, allowing you to maintain documents. So word processor is application or system. Application that's serving the user to continue their works. Next one is web browser. Just like Google Chrome, Firefox, still application serving to the user. Right. Then part B of it. Computer storage devices can be categorized into 3 types based on the medium used to store and retrieve data. State the 3 types of media and give example for each. Just stating what are the 3 types of secondary storage. One is magnetic storage. What are the examples of magnetic? We can say hard disk. Even we can have another example like magnetic tape. Then other than that, optical storage is there. What are the examples of optical category? CD, DVD, even Blu-ray or BD. Next one is flash memory or else solid state storage. What is that? Pen drives, memory cards, right? Then that's for the structured paper. We have write the answers on the question paper itself. Then part B of 2011, what are the 3 main components of CPU of a typical computer? List the main functions of these 3 components. They are very primitive questions. What are the 3 main components of CPU? Not the computer, sorry. Central processing unit. That's found inside the computer, which is called as a CPU. Then what are the components of the CPU? Internal to that we have the ALU, CU, registers likewise. That's a question, right? Then one thing is CU stands for control unit. Then what is the use of it? Write that properly. Control unit is used to control the functions and operations of the computer or CPU. CPU, right? This controls the functions, operations of the CPU. Next one, ALU stands for arithmetic and logic unit. Then what are the responsibilities of ALU? Performing all the arithmetic and logical functions. That's directly the note, right? Performs all the arithmetic. If you wish, you can write that within brackets, plus, minus, then division, multiplication, performs all the arithmetic and logic operations. Then another segment, registers. What is it? Acting as a temporary storage internal to the CPU. Acting as, you better use the word temporary, right? Temporary storage within the CPU. And we know that register is going to be the fastest memory. So that's an additional part. No need to write that in the paper, but I just tell that it is the fastest memory in the computer. Then part B in it. briefly explain why storage compaction is needed. Now that's also from operating system part. Then part C is still from operating systems. So in our level, we can't answer them now itself. Right? They are the general questions. Now what I want to explain here is this is the level of exam questions. Whatever we covered, whatever we learned will be there as it is from these two chapters. Small part, but they'll be there. You have to be confident. Am I with the correct level? That's all. Then I will go to the 2012 questions. Who considered as the first computer programmer? Ada Augusta Lovelace. Fourth one is the answer. So no argument, right? They are direct theories read from the notes. Then one more thing. John von Neumann. What is the importance of that person? Von Neumann introduced the von Neumann architecture concept, which is used even in our modern computers. Just to remind, what is that von Neumann architecture? What did he say? All the data and instructions can be stored in the same memory inside the computer. So he focused onto the RAM of the computer. Okay. Then Blaise Pascal invented the Pascaline. Charles Babbage, father of the computer. Then John Presper Eckhart invented what machines? ENIAC, EDVAC, UNIVAC. That VAC thing were invented by Eckhart. Then which of the following technologies has been used in third generation computers? 3G. Earlier we had it in the previous year. 3G now is using integrated circuits. One is the answer. That's okay. Then next question. The data in is read by using laser technology. Laser technology is used by whom? Optical storages. Ne? What is the answer then? Optical is not there. Instead, we have compact disc. Isn't that the answer? Question number 4. Consider the following statements about data and information. I don't want to explain them, right? They're fine. Data and information. Which of the above statements basically describe information? So they need information at the moment. The symbols, this is that information or data? They are just symbols or characters, going to be data. Information, it has to be results. After a work, that should be result. The numbers, characters, and images, still they are going to be facts directly obtained. No results, clue is there. Facts derived from a study. Yes, derived means a process is going on. So it should be information. Then a facts that has been processed in a such a way is to be meaningful to the process, to the person who reviews it. Definitely, right? Retrieves it. Yes. The answer is going to be C and D. Third one is the answer. Ne? Then question number 8. The component that decodes the instructions fetched into the CPU is called as. This is about the CPU. Okay. When it comes to CPU, we said that there are 3 items. One is control unit, ALU, as well as the registers. Then they mentioned that component that decodes the instruction fetched into the CPU is called. Now we had that fetch execute cycle. Then there we say that control unit is responsible for fetching the instruction from the RAM. Am I correct? RAM has instructions listed. Out of them, control unit is the one asking who will come next to continue the execution. And one more thing, whenever the next instruction is found to be executed, the address of the next instruction should be saved somewhere in the register. In which register the address of the next instruction is stored? You have MAR, MBR, EC, memory buffer register. Which register will keep the address of the next instruction? PC. That is holding the address of the next instruction. Correct? That's maintained by the program count. But this is asking the component that decodes instruction fetch into the CPU. Whenever the instruction is fetched, that has to be decoded, still done by the control unit. Right? ALU is doing processing, decoding, encoding is done by the control unit. Right? So the answer goes for the control unit. 3 is the answer. Eh? Then 29. Which of the following data storage devices provide the fastest random access? Fastest is the register. Main memory is RAM, magnetic disk, hard disk, flash drive, CD, DVD. Now all of them are secondary storage except the main memory. And what is the fastest? Main memory. So not from all the storages, but among the given. Then the next one is 41. The main advantage of creating more than one partition in the hard disk is, in the hard disk, there will be more than one partition. What is the use of it? To arrange your files in a proper way, isn't that? When I have a partition called as D, I may store all my films, songs in it. Then partition E, I may maintain all my academic works, ICT practicals, the programs I do, web pages I create, all will be there. And partition C will have the operating system, even the programs installed, the games I installed, all will be there. Then my data are fully organized whenever I have multiple partitions created. Then main advantage of creating multiple partitions, separation of operating system and program files. So will you separate the OS files and the application program files in your computer? Whenever you install a new application, say that you install Zoom, into which drive will it be installed? C drive. Application programs are going into C. In which drive the operating system is available? Still in C, right? Do we need to separate drives for operating system one drive, application programs another drive? No, all have to be in the one, since they have a certain interrelation. So then we don't need to separate OS files and application program files, should be kept in one drive. So first one is out. Ability to retrieve files efficiently. Yes, whatever the files, we can get them efficiently since we have clustered them nicely. So answer should be the second one. We'll read the third and fourth. Easiness of making directories and subdirectories. What are directories? Directory means folder. We know the creation of folders. මේ වගේ අලුත් වචන આવුත් පුතේ ලියා ගන්න. දැන් paper discussion එකේදී ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් සාමාන්‍ය paper discussion එකේදී වෙන්න ඕන දේ තමයි මම කියලාත් ඇති එක. කිව්වේ නැද්ද? නෑනේ. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට paper discussion එකක් කරන්නේ just to revise the contents we learn. That's a revision. And at the same time, through the questions, you may learn things that were forgotten already. Sometimes I didn't cover as a teacher. If it is so, I just inform that as I didn't cover that and I'll give a note behind that. Unless it might have been covered in the class, but you don't know. At that point, take down in a way you can understand the concept when I'm explaining that. That's the main thing. And on the other way around, whenever you mark your answers, in my tutor, there are questions. Normally, you people are marking your answers on the tute itself. Come on, first time. I am not recommending that method. The thing here is, for the moment it's easy, it's okay, fine. But say that now your term test is getting closer. Then don't you need to go through these questions and revise that? When you are revising, when the term test is getting closer, are these questions or are these questions with answers? Questions. නෙමෙයි කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ නේ මේක උත්තරේ දිනවා. ඕනේ මේකට උත්තරේ දිනවා ෂෝක් නේ. එහෙම මන්ට බලන්නේ ඕක. හරි. ඒතර ආයෙ රිවයිස් කරන්න ඕන නම් මේක question එකක් විදිහට තියෙන්න එපා. Therefore the best method is when you are marking your answers, better to take a separate sheet with the year, with the question number, mark your answers there. Then even at another time, if you check this, there will be questions, right? Now you can work on it. and then compare the answers with your other answers you have made, and clip that into the tute at the back side or wherever. Then the answers are there parallel with the questions. And again, I'm recommending you, whatever you hear new, that's not common to all, right? සමහර දේවල් මට මතක නැහැ, අනිත් උන්ට මතකයිනේ. මගේ හැටියට මම ඒක උගන්ලා දෙන්න. ඒකද මම ආයේ ඒකේ නෝට් එකක් දෙන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි ඔයාට ඒක මතක නැත්නම් මොකක් හරි අවුලක් නේ, කොයිද ආවේ නැහැ, රෙකෝඩින් එක බැලුවේ නැහැ. එහෙම නැත්නම් මොකක් හරි කේස් එකකින් අමතකයි. අපිට ඉතින් අමතක කරනවා කියලා 아무තු දෙයක් නෙවෙයිනේ. ඒක වෙනවා. එතකොට මේක දන්නේ නැත්නම් ටක් ගාලා නෝට් ඩවුන් කරගන්න තේරෙන භාෂාවෙන්, සිංහලෙන් හරි තමිල් වලින් හරි ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් හරි මොකද්ද මේ කියන්නේ කියලා නෝට් ඩවුන් කරගන්න. ඔන්න ඕක තමයි ප්‍රොඩක්ටිව් පේපර් ඩිස්කෂන් එකකට වෙන්නේ. ඕකේ ඊළඟට වෙන දේ තමයි දැන් මේ ෆස්ට් ලෙසන් එක හන්දා ඔයගොල්ලෝ පූස් පැටව වගේ හොම ඉන්නේ. හරි. ඊළඟ ලෙසන් එකේ වගේ පාස් පේපර්ස් කරන්න ගත්තාම එකක් කට්ටිය නලියන්න ගන්නවා. නලියොත් නම් ඉතින් එහෙම දෙපාරේ තුන්පාරේ නලියන්නේ. හේතුව තමයි මේක බෝරින් වෙනවා ළමයින්. ඇයි ඒ? මම උත්තරේ මාක් කරන් තියනවා. ටාගට් එක අර මම උත්තරේ කියනකන් ඉන්නේ ඒක මාක් කරගන්න. ලොකු හරියක් දාගෙන හරි. 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 ඒකේ කියන පසුබිම් කතාව ඔලුවට ගන්නෙ නැහැ. දැන් මේක හරි. හරි. ඊට සරුත් එක්ක කතාව. මේ බලපන් කරද්දු බස් එකක් හොන්දට බයින්ද තිබ්බේඩන් අපිට. අන්න ටෝකේ. එතකොට පේපර් ඩිස්කෂන් එකක් නෙවෙයි ඒක. ඉතින් එහෙමනම් මට මේකේ උත්තර ටික මාක් කරලා දෙන්න තිබුණේ බේන් මලාගෙන යව කියලා. ඩිස්කෂන් එකක් කියන්නේ මේකේ පසුබිම් කතාවක් තියෙන එක ක්වෙස්චන් එකකට කොහොමද මේක හිතන්නේ? කොහොමද මේ උත්තර අයින් කරන්නේ? ඇයි මේක? අමතක වෙච්ච දෙයක් ආයෙ මතක් කරලා දෙනවා. ඒක හන්ද ඇලර්ට් ඉන්න ඕන. ඉතින් ඔන්න ඔය මානසිකත්වයෙන් පේපර් ඩිස්කෂන් කරේ නැත්නම් වැඩක්ම නැහැ පේපර් ඩිස්කෂන්. හරි. So then I am recommending you follow the papers in that manner. So then the intention is not to check whether your answer is correct or wrong. හරි. මේ answers ඔක්කොම හරි වුණත් වැඩක් නැහැ. එකක් තමයි මම කියේ මේ answers mark කරද්දි notes බලන්න ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලලා කරන්න නැති ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. කරපු අය හොඳයි. කරපු නැති කිහිප දෙනෙකුත් ඉන්නවා මෙතන. හරි. මූණෙන් පේනවා. නෝන් එක බලන්න ඕනේ. සහ මම දන්නවා ඉතින් ඔය ඇවිදිනකොට මට අහුවෙනවා. හරි ඒක කමක් නැහැ. ඒතර කරේ නැත්තම් ලොකු අවුලක්. ඇයි ඒ? මම කැමති මේ questions කරලා වරදින අයට. ඇයි ඒ? question එක කරලා වැරදුනොත් ඔයාට ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා ඇයි මගේ මෙතන වැරදුනේ? එහෙනම් හොඳට අහගෙන ඉන්නවා. ඇයි මගේ වැරද්ද? මොකද්ද වැරද්ද කියලා හොයාගන්න හදනවා. හරි වෙච්ච උන් තමයි අමාරු මට කන්ට්‍රෝල් කරන්න. ඇයි හරි වෙච්චාම උඩ පැනලා හරියට දා ගන්නවා, අල්ලා ගන්නවා හැකා කතාවට. ඒකන්ද වරදින තරමට හොඳයි. ඒකයි මම කියන්නේ කරලා එන්න කියලා papers. කරලා ආවොත් success. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේක නිකන් ඔය ටීවී බැලුවා වගේ මන් දිහා බලන් ඉඳී බෝඩ් එක දිහා බලලා යාම කනවා නේද, ආයෙ ලියනවා නේද, ඔච්චර තමයි. මේක productive වෙන්න නැත්නම් paper discussion එකක් කරන එක තේරුමක්ම නැහැ. Right. Okay. Second one is the answer. Okay. Now what I want to say is 41 statement 3, right? Easiness of making directories and subdirectories. Sometimes the word directory may be new to you. What is directory? Folders and subfolders. In the computer, that yellow color object created as a folder. Then folders and files are different. Why do you use folders? Folders are used to keep files in it, right? To organize your files, we can use folders. Then whenever you have multiple drives in the hard disk, CD is there, will that make the creation of folders easier? How do you create a folders? Right click on the drive, new, and the new folder is there. Or else on the top, we have new folder, right? So then no need of having partitions to create the folders or subfolders easily. That's out. Next one, easiness of creating multiple users. How do you create multiple users in the computer? That's a feature found in the control panel. You go to control panel, users. There we have the option of creating users. So having partitions or not affected. Then easiness of taking backups of selected files. What are backups? Keeping a copy. In order to make backups, what do? Just select the file or folder and copy and paste it. If you have multiple partitions, is there any big ease in it? No, just copy and paste it, right? So then that's not the point. Therefore, answer has to be the second one. Efficiently, you can get the files since they are properly arranged into partitions. Right. Then 2012, the writing paper question. Describe the main difference between data and information using the suitable system. Now, this question should be answered properly. describe the main difference between data and information using a suitable system. When you write the answer, should you write the definition of data and information or not? What do they ask? Did you write data are raw facts, information are process information? That's our definition. Is that what we need to write? Or something different? Describe the main differences. We need to find the differences between data and information using a suitable system. You want to define the differences among these two with respect to a example system. Right? Then we need to we need to start my answer by mentioning the example. What sort of a better example to illustrate data and information? That mark sheet thing. Marks are there, average marks, total marks, that has data and information. By taking such an example, you better differentiate the difference between data and information. Are you clear? So that's the nature we need to narrate your answers. Then I can take the example as a mark sheet. Right? Then I may maintain that maths, science, total, maths is going to be 70, science is going to be 50, so total is going to be 0, 120, and I can say average as 60. They want a suitable system to be prepared. Right? Then I take the example as a mark sheet. Then what I can say is this can be data, this can be information. Now you have to explain that. What is explanation then? We can say that we have to go for the differences. Then information are results where the data are not results. Right? So then these results were prepared by using these data. So they are no longer results, they are just facts. Right? Then you can say that information are results always. Information are results always. We can say average, comma total, while data are raw facts. Then another difference here is raw facts. Then we can say that no processing. That's a difference. Then the other one is regarding information and data. We can say information are usable. We need to use these average marks to make decisions whether the student is in which grade, which position, first the second the kila. But with marks we can't do such thing, right? Then we can say that information is used to make decisions while data are not used. While the data are not used. Then the second one. Give 3 drawbacks of manual methods in manipulating data in bulk. 3 drawbacks, disadvantages of manual methods in manipulating data in bulk. Whenever we process data in bulk, huge volumes, what are the troubles in manual methods? We have to compare that with the electronic methods. What are the issues? Just list them only, right? Give name, no need to explain that. What are they? Slow or faster? Slower in processing, or manipulating, it's slow. Further, What about the error rate? Rate of making errors? More, ne? Higher error rate. Then further regarding manual, we need more human efforts. We have to pay salaries and things like that. Need more humans. Then we can say that expense for salaries. However, what about the room space required? Manual na? More or less. More room space, keep papers, files and everything. Need more room space. But likewise, we need to select 3 out of it. Are there different answers than this? Fine, right? Then fourth one, describe the terms hardware, software and firmware using examples. So describe them with examples. They have to say what hardware is. How to define that? Hardware are physical, tangible items of the computer. Then software, we have to write examples as well. Then we can say that hard disk, monitor, keyboard, likewise. Then you go to the next definition, software. How do you define software perfectly? What is the definition? Software are the instructions given to the computer. Are the instructions given to the computer. Software instructions given to the computer. Then what are the examples? Windows 11, even MS Word, Zoom, likewise. Describe terms hardware, software and firmware using examples. Then firmware. How to define firmware? They are the softwares which are essentially included into the hardware to make that hardware functional. If the firmware is missing, hardware will not work. Right? An essential software which is essential software which makes a specific hardware operational. Then we can write further. If the firmware is damaged, the specific hardware will not work. Hardware will not work. Example, what are examples of firmware in our computer? That's a boot up program. Ne? Or else we can say that the firmware found in our remote controllers or in our wristwatch. The software in the calculator in 2013 MCQs. Correct? Sometimes this may be quite different with your answers. If you feel that your answer is correct, but it's not the same, then you may question me, right? I'll just help you. Right. A high-speed temporary memory, high-speed temporary storage, which is a part of the microprocessor. It's a high-speed memory, which is a part of the microprocessor. What is microprocessor? CPU, right? Which is part of the CPU. That holds data and instructions during the execution is called. While the execution is going on, within the CPU, we have a object to store things. What is that called? Register. Ne? Right. Question number 4. Microprocessors are usually compared by their clock speed measured in or their word size measured in that can be processed in a single clock cycle. Which of the following most appropriate to fill the state blanks? Microprocessor usually compared by the clock speed measured in. Clock speed is measured in what? Hertz, kilohertz, megahertz. Per second, how many instructions are there? And their word size measured in. What is word size? I think I told you, didn't I? Word size. This is a CPU. Right. Then CPU will get instructions to execute from the RAM itself. RAM has a loaded data and instructions. So then they are being submitted to the CPU to continue the execution. Say that that particular instruction goes as stream of ones and zeros. Like this. This is what sent from here to there. Once this bit stream is sent, we call this as stream, series of ones and zeros. Once the stream is sent, shouldn't the CPU break that into pieces and understand what each block is? Whatever the instructions to be executed are sent continuously. But CPU should break that into pieces and get, this is one instruction, this is the other instruction. They can interpret them. So then, whenever the bit streams are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then, one fixed set of bits are consuming one instruction. Aiputhe? Paradhi uttara. ගොඩක් කලාවක දැන් කතාවක් සෙට් වුණා ඒක මම දැක්කේ. වැරදි නම් කියන්න මං එන්නම් ඈ. Then this may be the second instruction. This may be the third instruction, but this third instruction has no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Correct? Then now the CPU will break the received ones and zeros into fixed size blocks. Then that block is called as what? Single word. Word is one single block from the stream that it receives. And each word will define an instruction to be executed. I think I didn't give that in the note. We'll write into the note with a star. We'll go to the word note and say it as word size. There we write word size. Keyword is word size. We'll write the CPU get instructions. CPU get instructions, comma data. CPU get instructions, comma data directly from the RAM, as a series of bits within like say ones and zeros, as a series of bits within like say ones and zeros continuously, which is called as the bit stream, which is called as the bit stream. Next point, the above bit stream must be split into fixed sized blocks, where each block represents a separate instruction. Each block represents a separate instruction for the CPU to execute. Next point, the number of bits used for each instruction, is called as the word size. Right. Then shall you take this example? This is how the bit stream is. You don't need to have the same numbers I entered, some ones and zeros directly. And then I will break that into a word size. Same thing, 8, 8, 8. So my word size is 8. Now they are being sent into the CPU from the RAM to continue the execution. Take that drawing quickly. Hurry. Then word size is the size of each instruction whenever the bit streams are received. Now they are formed from the RAM, right? RAM has all of them, need to be submitted to the CPU. Right. Then word size is measured using what unit? Word size is measured using what is the unit? Bits, how many bits are there, right? Then clock speed is measured using hertz, megahertz, kilohertz, gigahertz likewise. Then what is the answer? Clock speed is in gigahertz. Word size is measured in bits. Now fourth one is the answer, ne? Question number 5. Typically, the cache memory is used to store cache memory. We know that with respect to the CPU, we have cache memory goes in L1 as well as L2. L1 cache is found inside the CPU. What is the job of the cache memory? To store frequently accessed data. If there are data which are accessed frequently, that's going to be kept by the cache memory. Then what is it? Large cache memory is used to store large volume. No, cache in small sizes. Least frequently, no, most frequently. Fourth one is the answer. Am I correct? To hold most frequently accessed data temporarily. Sixth, sharing a single microprocessor among number of application programs using context switching is known as. You don't know context switching, but we can just mention the rest of the things. Sharing a single microprocessor, that means CPU. Single CPU is shared among number of application programs. That means program 1, program 2, program 3 are running, are sharing the CPU to execute them continuously. I think I said you. So who is facilitating to run all these programs by the single CPU? OS, right? I said that cake thing. Now we have only one CPU available, one resource. These three are waiting to use it. Then what happens? Whenever program 1 goes there, it is being used only for a smaller time and giving the chance for program 2 to use the CPU. Then with another small time, program 3 will be given. So sharing the resource with all the applications with the help of OS. What is that facility called as? Running multiple programs at the same time. What is that called as? Multi-user processing, multitasking, isn't that? That's the idea. It's running multiple tasks, not multi-processing. So then answer should be the second one. Multiple tasks are there. Why? First program may be Zoom. Other one is Excel. This one is media player. So from the user's point of view, aren't they different tasks, different works, right? So they are going to be run at the same time, multitasking. Seventh, Babbage difference engine is based on Charles Babbage difference engine, analytical engine. They made with or they are running with steam engines. Then are they first generation, second, third, fourth? What generation are they? Charles Babbage computers? 1G, the 2G, the නැත්තම් පස්සේවද? Can that be 1G? What are the computers? What is the technology used in first generation? Vacuum tubes. Are these machines Babbage one, difference engine, analytical engine? Are they using vacuum tubes? No, they use steam engines. Then they are not first generation. Isn't that earlier to that as well? Yes, it's using steam engines supporting your rotations of the wheels and movement of gadgets here and there. That's why we need engines. Then that's based on mechanical technology. First one is the answer. Difference engine is mechanical. That's why the steam engines are there. Which of the following component is located outside the microprocessor? So inside the CPU we have cache, then registers, then CU, ALU. Other than that, all the others are outside. ALU, RAM. RAM is outside. Ne? Then for 8th, answer is going to be the second one. 31. Which of the following statement is true with regard to data and information? Describe decision can be made only when a massive volume of data available. To make a decision, should you have large volume of data or the adequate correct data? Correct data, ne? Then therefore this is not an answer. Validity of information depends on the accuracy of data. Validity of data, information. Information after processing, you may get information. Validity of information depends on accuracy of data. So this information is valid if the data to be submitted are accurate. There's a truth behind that, ne? Make a valid, accurate now. But not only that, there are many other reasons. But they said this is accurate if this is fine. That's quite fair. Information obtained by processing data is always accurate. No, there can be wrong answers. In order to obtain information, data must be collected from different sources. Accuracy of information depends only on accuracy of data. No, not only. The answer has to be the second one. Consider the following statements about firmware. We said that earlier. Which of the above are correct? Firmware in a program required to boot up the computer. Yes, that's a bootstrap program. So A is correct. B. Firmware is incorporated with washing machines. Yes, why not? In the washing machine, we have a computer. It must be installed with a certain program. So that's also true. Firmware can be easily changed later. You can't change it. Firmware is available in a ROM read-only memory where no one can change it. Then only A and B are the answers. Third one. Right. 2014. One of the principal inventors of ENIAC. Who made ENIAC? John Presper Eckhart. Which of the following statements is correct with respect to evolution of computing devices? Development of the computer, which one is correct? Vacuum tubes are used by Blaise Pascal to build the Pascal line. Pascal line came very long ago, right? No vacuum tubes, no transistors. That was completely based on mechanical technologies. Computers built using vacuum tubes are considered as second. No, they are 1G. Electronic numerical integrator and ENIAC was built using vacuum tubes. Yes, that came in the first generation. That's treated as the correct statement. Which of the following statement is true with respect to languages, programming languages? Machine language belongs to the second generation languages. Is it? I think I didn't cover about programming languages here. Right. Now, one more thing. Still, you should know this. We go for programming languages. What are the examples of programming languages we have? In your O levels, you use what? Pascal. How about in our A levels, you are going to use Python. Also, we have Java, C++. They are treated as programming languages. Right? What is the use of these programming languages? Whenever you open this language, it comes as a blank screen. It's blank. And the cursor is waiting there for you to input codes. Or simply we can call this as instructions. Then this is going to be handled by programmers. Not people like you and me. So programmers know well about these codes, the instructions. What they do is they write codes onto the programming language in order to make software systems. We are using Zoom, we are using Excel, we are using media player. They are softwares. Those are built by entering codes into a programming language. Then we have to have the proper programming knowledge to enter those codes properly. Right. Now, whenever these programming languages are considered, they were also evolved or they were also improved parallelly with the improvement of the computer. Long ago, with the Charles Babbage time, we didn't have Java, Pascal, Python. They came recently. Right? So then during that time, there were languages. So even the languages are evolved parallelly with the computer development. So then we consider programming languages falling into first generation programming languages. Right. So that was the first generation programming languages, initial one. By that time, first generation programming language is completely the language where we are to enter ones and zeros only. We call this as the machine code or machine language. So now this programmer has to write codes in ones and zeros, not in English. To get the work done, to get the software, they write exact code with ones and zeros into the direct language. Is that easy or difficult? Writing ones and zeros as the complete code? Very difficult, right? Then, but whenever you are going to run this, if the code is with ones and zeros, is there any conversion to be done or is this directly readable to the CPU? It's in ones and zeros, direct readable. Then that's the benefit here we have. No need to have a translator, converter, ones and zeros are entered by the user. But the weakness here is user entering ones and zeros is a big work. Suddenly, if they miss one, or if they exchange 1 and 0, the whole instruction will be completely wrong. So that's difficult. That's the first generation programming languages. Then the second generation languages came. That is quite advanced than the 1G languages. So normally as 2G, there are programs like ASCII, not ASCII, sorry, assembly. Right. That's with small amount of codes during that time period. Something we can call this as assembly language as a human readable form of machine language. Machine language is not sensible for us. This is same like that, but with some English letters. That's very primitive. That's very simpler when compared to the languages we use today. So it can't do much more things like the languages we have today. Right? So assembly is the second generation language. Assembly allowing the programmer to enter codes in English. Like as we can write it. Then is assembly expecting a translator or not now? Need a translator. Why your codes are in English? Not main, not complex, but it is there. Then we need a translator in order to execute this language. So what are such translators we have? That's called as the assembler. The assembler is the translator we expect in order to convert assembly language into the corresponding computer readable format. That's a second generation programming languages. Then you go to 3G, third generation programming languages. Now they are supporting more codes than this. So simply we consider this as COBOL, Fortran. These are some level of 3G languages. And they are more human readable format. They need to have translators. Now the translators are coming like compiler, interpreter. So they are found in our third generation languages. And at the moment, we all are in 4G, fourth generation. So then here we have Java, even Pascal, then Python. Right. That's our modern computing generation. Then you have 5G, that's going beyond this level. Right? Simply we can call this as future technology. Right? Then these are the generations of programming languages which went parallelly with our normal computer development. Right? We'll take that note. I didn't cover that earlier. We'll say generations of. We'll have the topic called as generations of programming languages. Parallelly with the development of the computers, comma, the programming languages are also developed. The programming languages are also developed, which is categorized into 5 generations to TWO, which is categorized into 5 generations to. But on the next line we write with the star programming languages. With the star we write programming languages. Programming languages. There we write. It is used by programming languages. It is used by programmers. It is used by programmers in order to. It is used by programmers in order to construct programs, software. Right. Next point. The programmer enters codes. The programmer enters codes accordingly in order to create the expected program, software, application, everything, right? In order to construct the expected program, application, software. Examples. What are the examples of programming languages? Java, C++, Pascal, Python. Right. Then write 1G programming languages, first generation programming languages. 1G, first generation programming languages. There we write 1G programming languages. There we write the basic languages, which is completely based on ones and zeros as the codes. Ones and zeros as the codes. Ones and zeros as the codes. Next point. It is more complex. And difficult. It is more complex and difficult for the programmer to work with ones and zeros Therefore, only, less complex programs, only less complex programs can be created. Next point. Does not need a translator, since the direct ones and zeros are entered. As the code. Right. Within brackets, right? Machine language. Within brackets, right? Machine language. Then the next one, 2G, second generation programming languages. 2G, second generation programming languages. They will write. The next version of the programming language, which is with basic English words, such as these are some codes there, right? ADD, MOV, sub, is it the basic code such as this? Okay, full stop. Next point. It is more user friendly. Than 1G languages, but also with lesser amount of features included. Next point. These languages are called as the assembly language. Where it uses assembler, as the translator, to convert the above English codes into ones and zeros. Next point. It can be treated as a human readable form of, it can be written as a human readable form of the machine language. Human readable form of the machine language. Right. Now we go to the next one, 3G, third generation language. We'll start from examples: COBOL, Fortran, 3G. COBOL, Fortran. Examples. That we like. Under that we write COBOL, Fortran. Then we write more user friendly. More user friendly language. More user friendly language. Having large number of keywords, than assembly. Next point. It can be used to construct. More complex applications. While language translators must be used. Some of them are. Language translators must be used. Some of them are. What are they? Compiler, interpreter. Some of them are compiler, interpreter. Then you go to 4G languages. These are not fourth generation computers. These are 4G languages, right? Fourth generation computer languages. Start from examples: Java, Pascal, Python, even C#. 4G, Java, Pascal, Python, C#. They will write. Is the current generation of the programming languages. So that the modern programming languages are of Modern languages are of 4G, fourth generation. Next point, need language translators. What are the translators? Still, right? Compiler, interpreter. Need language translators. Right? Compiler, interpreter. Close brackets. And supporting more and supporting more complex features and supporting more complex features such as we don't know them for the moment, but we'll just write it OOP, such as double OP, then GUI, you know GUI, right? Multimedia, network operations, so double OP you don't know, we'll do that. Then GUI we know that, reflex interface. So these applications support that GUI. Even multimedia to handle audio video applications, and they support the internet connectivities, network connectivities. So they are in our 4G, the modern applications, but which were not found in our earlier generations. That's a development of the programming languages. Then the last one, 5G, fifth generation. So as I said earlier, 5G is the future programming language technology that's completely based on AI, just like our computer fifth generation. Computer generations are also like that. We are in 4, and upcoming technology is 5G, that is AI. So this is same like that. 5 generation is based on AI languages. If so, that's very easy for the programmers. If it is AI, they will read our commands. That means they will understand what I am telling, just like ChatGPT. There, whatever you type, they'll recognize it, right? So that's a certain intermediate level of this 5G and 4G. We are on the way to go for 5G now. So whatever you type in ChatGPT, in what sentence, what language, they'll recognize. This is what you meant. In that manner, now we can enter codes. Now the programmers can enter codes in their own native language. Not you by heart their specific codes. People who know about programming little bit, you know that we have to memorize those codes and type them. Now it's not like that. You may write whatever you want. They'll recognize it. Then it's going to be more user friendly and can do much more works than the earlier languages we have. So they are going to be much more complex. Okay, we like 5G languages. Future programming language technology, which is completely based on AI. Is completely based on AI. So that the codings can be continued. In human languages and supporting to construct more complex languages. More complex applications. Supporting to construct more complex applications. Fine. Now we'll go back to the questions from Tusan. We said that that's based on AI, right? Did we? In the note? AI Q&A ma? Oh, Harin. Then 2014 questions, we did the second one. And the third MCQ is, which of the following statements is true with respect to the programming languages? Machine language belongs to the second generation, is it? No, machine belongs to 1G. Then assembly language programs run directly in any computer. Is assembly running in any computer, or do they need the translator? What is a translator? Assembler. So then it's not. Assembly language belongs to the first generation. No, that's 2G. Assembly language is more human readable form of machine language. That's true, right? Same like machine, but with some English patterns there. So human readable form of machine. Fifth one, machine language programs can be translated to assembly language program using assembler. Is that correct? Machine language programs can be translated into assembly language programs using assemblers. Correct, neither? We said assembler. What is assembler doing? Converting what into what? Assembly code, assembly language code into machine language. Isn't this sentence correct then? Machine language programs can be translated into assembly language programs using assembler. Is assembler converting these ones and zeros into assembly code? They mention about the reverse, right? So it will never happen. We don't need that as well. Assembly code to be translated into ones and zeros to run the executions. That's not right. Therefore, answer is still 4. Okay. Then ninth one, very simple. The Sri Lankan cricket team won a T20 World Cup match in 2014. The Sri Lankan cricket fans had the highest value of this information when, what is the answer? That's the highest value of information, right? The first final match is started. No. Sarabara scored the winning run, isn't that? At the moment where the winning run is scored, isn't that the peak of the value of information? Yes, right? Not at the arrival or nothing else. Then a ninth answer is going to be the second one. 14. Which of the following has the fastest access speed? Extended memory, we don't know what it is. Register memory, yes. So register is the fastest out of all in the computer. Which of the following is not a main function of an OS? What is the job of the OS? Controlling all the activities of the computer. Then memory management, is it? It manages the available memory. What is memory management means? Managing the RAM or the hard disk. Memory refers to RAM. Then process scheduling, processes, that means CPU scheduling is still controlled by the OS. Even file handling, whatever you store in the hard drive as files, still they are being managed by the OS. Virus detection, no, who does it? Antivirus software. Right? Then that's not the job of the OS. This is going to be the 4th. Right. Then again we have 2015 MCQs. Hopefully by next week I can start the next chapter as well, right? The number systems part. Then there are only few MCQs to be covered. 2015, right? Charles Babbage is considered as the father of the computer by some people. That is because he invented the mechanical calculator Pascaline. No, Pascaline is invented by Blaise Pascal. Invented the first reprogrammable electronic computing machine. Reprogrammable? No, he didn't do something like that. Took the leadership of building first personal computer at IBM. No. He introduced the concept of input, process, and output. Yes, right? He came up with the concept input, process, and output that is used in modern computers as well. Yes, that is. So then answer is going to be the D there. Second one, the first generation computers were based on 1G computers are based on vacuum tubes. E is the answer. Now, similar questions are repeatedly appearing, right? Then the next one is question number 3. 4, 5, 6. 3. The feature in a modern operating system which allows the automatic installation of new hardware device. What is that? Whenever we connect a hardware into the computer, say that this is my computer, I am going to plug a printer. As soon as the printer is connected, is this possible to work with the computer? Generally not. Why? We need to install the device driver to match with the printer. I think I told you about driver. No. What is that device driver doing? Simply, now the printers or whatever the hardware are made from different manufacturers. HP, Epson, Dell, there are many people. Then whenever the printer is made by that particular manufacturer, say that HP, then their printer uses their own technology. That is different from the Epson printer. Then from the computer, we send the print signal as a bit stream, ones and zeros. That bit stream may not be readable to the HP printer since the way they read bits is different. Even if you plug Epson printer, that is also receiving streams of ones and zeros. And those may be collected in another way. You understand that? මේ printers එක එක manufacturers නේ හදන්නේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ වෙන වෙන technologies තියෙනවා. මෙහෙන් එන bit stream ඒගොල්ලොන්ට දෙන්න ඕන එක එක විදිහට. Then only they will recognize the characters, colors and everything. So then that is going to be informed through the device driver. So whenever we connect a HP printer, with that printer, they will issue you a software called as device driver. And that has instructions how should the HP printer get the bits. Do you understand that? මේ printer එක ගහපුවාම එයාට ones and zeros එන්න ඕනේ එයාට තේරෙන විදිහට. එහෙනම් driver එක දාපුවාම driver එක දන්නවා printing signal එක මොන විදිහටද දෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා. ඒතර ඒක printer එකට තේරුම් අරගෙන print out ගන්න පුළුවන්. කැමරා එකටත් කොහොමයි webcam එකක් මොක හරි කරත් there should be a way where the data are recognized. That has to be told, that is done by the device driver. So this is a traditional way how you manage that. Other than that, nowadays we have another feature which is called as plug and play feature. That means whenever you plug a new gadget, whenever you plug new thing, now we don't need to install the driver. Computer will automatically recognize what the device and continue communication. So this is what the plug and play feature is. Which one is convenient for the people? Plug and play or installing drivers? This driver has to be separately installed. If it is not done, gadget is not working. Is this done separately or automatically? Automatically. Then which one is convenient? This event, right? Then all the hardware are working nicely with the computer whenever we have plug and play features. One more thing, when it comes to device driver is a software. So that falls under the utility software category. Utility software is application software or system software. Utility software, system software. That will support the operations and configurations. So this suppose some configurations, right? You are configuring the printer with the computer. That's the idea, right? So shall I write this into the note? I think I didn't teach that, right? Okay, we write a device driver as a keyword. Device driver. There we write device driver is a utility software. Device driver is a utility software. Is a utility software which is supporting to introduce the peripheral devices, within brackets say printers, peripheral devices, printers, cameras, scanners, close brackets, peripheral devices, into the computer. Next point. Device driver comes with
The specific hardware comes with the specific hardware, and it must be separately installed. It must be separately installed into the computer. In order to introduce the specific hardware, into the computer. Next point. Device driver is a utility software. Device driver is a utility software supporting the maintenance and configurations of the computer. Next point. The modern hardware are with the plug and play feature, where modern hardware are with the plug and play feature, where the installation of driver is not required. Installation of driver is not required. Within brackets, right? More user friendly. Right. Then so the other differences between device drivers as well as plug and play. Right. Then now what is the answer then? Our question is question number 3. What does it say? The feature of modern operating system which allows automatic installation of new hardware device connected to the computer, commonly known as, what is it? Plug and play feature, right? It's going to be C then. Right. Then the fourth one. Which of the following is not a typical? Which of the following is not a typical use of RAM of the computer? Random access memory. What is it used for? To hold all the running programs, right? And to submit programs and instructions at a faster speed. Then which is not a job of the RAM? Keeping data for processing. Yes, right. Now here we have the RAM. RAM is holding things to be sent into the CPU. So they will keep until they are being sent to the CPU. Keeping data for processing. Yes. Retaining information for output. Whatever the results prepared are still given to the RAM, and from the RAM they are given to the output devices. Until they are passing to the output devices, still they are kept in the RAM. Yes, true. Holding instructions for operations. Keeping instructions for operations. To get them executed, instructions are still kept in the RAM. Operations are done by the CPU only. Before putting them in the CPU, they will be there in the RAM itself. Yes. Then keeping BIOS programs for boot up. Where will the BIOS be? In the ROM itself. Fixed memory, not in the RAM. Then answer should be the E then. Then fifth one. Now in that discussions, if you find something new, you may take it, right? Consider the following terms related to the computer system. Which of them are basic components of computer? Malware, is it? What are malware? Malicious program, just like viruses, spyware, harmful programs, right? Are they essential? Then hardware, yes. Software, yes. Liveware, yes. B, C, D. Then sixth, consider the following statements on DRAM. We know DRAM and SRAM, right? Registers are made up of DRAM, is it? No, no, registers are made up of SRAM. Then a DRAM is faster than SRAM. Still not. SRAM is faster than DRAM. Which one has to be refreshed? DRAM. Ne? Then a DRAM is more dense than SRAM. That's true. Then answer is C only. Ne?